Today, I want to talk about choices, the kind of choice we make on a daily basis, determines our positions in life, in business, and in relationship. I talk to people every day by day, and sometimes I want to find out why they are where they are, and how they can move from a point B to a point Z. Now, what I've found out is that most people, are where they are, be it a successful place or an unsuccessful place, because of the choices that they make. Now, choices affect three aspects, of our being. The first and the most important one is your choice that determine whether you will live or you will die. To most of the unnecessary death that we see around us today, if you take a look at it, you discover that it's because of the choices. Some people, they don't take their health seriously, and their lifestyle too, they don't consider it, to know whether is the one that suits their being, you know and these are the things that that affect your life. If you don't take things that will make you live a quality life, a good life, seriously, you know it can affect you, it can affect your living. So you have to be careful, you know the kind of choices that you make, regarding your life. Now, I want to take it even more spiritual, you know because I believe there is a spiritual life and there's a physical life, and for you to have a good life, you need to make a choice, you know to be godly, to be a child of God, to be spiritual, to get to know the things that controls this life that we are living. Now, if you are not interested, or you don't make conscious effort, or you are not intentional about the way you live, it will affect you. Not only in this life that we are living, it will also affect you in the life to come. Now, the second aspect that our choices, affect is your cash flow, your financial position, you know, your money. Now, if you the amount of money that you have, or the kind of cash that you have in your bank account, or the kind of job that you do, the kind of career that you pursue, has a lot to do, with the kind of choices that you make. I've made a lot of choices, regarding my career. There was a time I was publishing Kingdom News magazine. From there, I started selling chin chin. From there, I went into printing. From printing, I went into banking. From banking, I became a hairstylist. And when I made a choice to become a hairstylist, I a lot of people were against it, but because I believed, you know, I I I I, I knew, that was what I needed to do, for me to have a consistent cash flow. So I went ahead to do it. and today is paying off. There were some of my colleagues I know in those days that, you know, that they were, still working in the bank when I took a decision. So today, there are some of them, they find life very difficult because at the point, the bank started sacking people just because of the economic crisis and all that. And there were some people that lost their life because they couldn't handle, the because they were asked to resign from the bank. You understand? So if you don't choose right, concerning your career, it will determine whether you will be poor or whether you will be rich. And lastly, what choice also affects is our happiness. You know, your choice determine whether you'll be happy or you will be unhappy. If you make the wrong choices, you will be happy. If you make the right choices, you will be happy. You see why choosing right is very good. Now, the next question that you ask yourself, what will you do? You should understand that will make you to take the right decisions or make the right choices. Now, from my own personal experiences, you know, I know that I make the right choice because one of the word of God that's on the inside of me. You know, I study the word of God, I read the word of God, I read a lot of Christian books, I read a lot of spiritual books, things that will build my inner man, things that books that will educate me, that gives me knowledge about my environment, about myself, and about God. So this information helps me to take the right choice. And the Bible talks about my people are distressed for lack of knowledge. If you don't have the right knowledge, you will discover that it will affect, your choices. So if you want to know, how to make the right choice, the first thing I will ask you to do, that is guaranteed, is studying the Word of God. We live in a world today where people, they take decisions based on their feelings, you know. And the Bible tells us that we are not moved by our feelings, we are moved by the Word of God. Now, if you take a decision that is based on your feelings, it would affect your choices. Most of the time, our feelings does not lead us right. Because human beings naturally don't like pains. Human beings don't like making sacrifices. So anything that will make them to make sacrifices or anything that will cause them pain, they always stay away from it. Even if, it's something that will improve on their living, something that will improve on their cash flow, or something that will improve, their happiness, but because of the way they feel, they will not take the right decision. Now, I want you to ponder on this, you know, before you choose, get to have information, you know, and seek the face of God, you know, and be true to yourself so that you will not make the wrong choices, because the kind of choices that you make, affects your living, affects your money, and affects your happiness. Ponder on this. You have a nice day.